I'm reading Catherine's lips there. So, but excellent having everybody online. My name is Tom McMurrain. Just happy to be here. I'll be your host tonight on our new currency show, or whatever you want to call it. We're talking about digital currency. The idea is really to help you get an education on what digital currency is, what's in it for you, and ultimately how you can get started. If this is your first time, this is a very, very casual conversation about digital currency. There's nothing formal about what we're doing tonight. I think you can see that we got people in lazy boys sitting on the floor, sitting in chairs, laying in beds, sitting in their home offices, walking around, doing things, just hanging out. And that's what this is all about, is really having the ability to, hey, Barbara, how are you? But it's really about having the ability to do business anywhere in the world on your own terms. And certainly we have people from Germany and from New Zealand and Australia and Dubai and Canada and all over the place, California, and I hear California is getting ready to be its own country as well. So we'll have another country we can call if they do the Cal exit or whatever they call it. But fantastic times. So we got India. We got somebody from India on board with us, and let's see where else we got. Just to make sure I got everybody covered. Ohio, got the heartbeat of America on. What's going on, Terrence? Great to see you. But when there's a reason we're all here, and it ain't for Amway, I can tell you that. We're talking about digital currency. We're talking about the opportunity to create wealth. We're talking about the ability to do business outside of the banking system, outside of government-issued currency. This is a very, very foreign topic to most people. In fact, probably 99% of the people you meet in your life have probably never done a digital currency transaction. And we did one today, probably spend a little bit more time on education tonight. So I don't know if we'll do one tonight online, but if you're with us enough, you'll see where we actually do a bankless transaction and we send money to one another without using a bank. And couple opportunities that are at hand tonight. Number one is to learn about something that's as profound as the internet. A new technology exists today that allows us to do something we couldn't do before 2010, period. We could not do it. And then, it's kind of like the internet before 91. We really couldn't do the internet before Tim Berners-Lee kind of introduced it and created, helped create the World Wide Web. And then ultimately Mark Andreessen and team came along and they started up the internet browser, which made it really easy to surf online rather than knowing a bunch of command codes. And, you look back 25 years ago and you're like, it's just amazing how far we've come, with, this opportunity with the internet, with driving around with an app now that tells us where to go. I mean, I was mentioning it the other day and they called me and they said, that's so true. Stopping by pay phones to pick up the phones and hoping you had a pin in the car so you could jot down directions to ask the person where to go. And, I look at just all the conveniences that we have today because of the internet. And I think, wow, one of our experts, Don Tapscott, said that that blockchain technology that allows us to do bankless transactions will be the largest technological revolution we've ever seen in our lives. And that's kind of hard to believe when you think about the internet. It's like, how could that be possible? And, I think when you see the opportunity at hand tonight, there's two opportunities. There's one to be passive and say, I just want to create wealth. I don't want to build a team. That's fine. We have a lot of people that do that. Probably 80% of the people do that. And then we have the other 20% that say, hey, Tom, I want to build a team, but I want to be the highest paid teacher in the world. I want to make money educating people on digital currency. And we have that opportunity for you tonight. And I think you can see how we do business. It's pretty cool. We connect with people around the world that are interested or maybe concerned about the future of our economy. They're concerned about future of money. They want a plan B. I've got 3 kids, and I got to tell you, I feel highly responsible for their well-being. as every parent should. But I can't imagine like living in Greece and going to an ATM machine and only being able to take out like $50 a day and knowing that's all I had to take care of my kids with, and realizing that it's because I didn't plan, it's because I didn't create a safety plan, a safety net for my family. And digital currency is that for my family. Honestly, Michael, you could throw me in the middle. You could just give me a phone. Actually, you don't have to give me a phone, but you can throw me just about anywhere in the country, and I'll be able to gain access to money and gain access to food and gain access to groceries without an ID, without bank cards, without a checking account. And I have the ability to do that. And I like that about digital currency because it provides me with the freedom to know that I'm not, at the beck and call of whatever the banks decide to do with my money. Have any of y'all ever put money in a bank and then pulled it out and felt like the bank acted like it was their money and not your money? All day long. And I think a lot of people are here because of that, because they say, you know what, banks are well, there's two reasons people are here. Number one, they're here because they're getting close to retirement and there's more retirement left at the end than there is their bank account. The money's going to run out before the retirement does. Anybody familiar with that one? And then also, people are here because they're frustrated with banks and government and taxes and just all the regulations and issues. It's pretty crazy what's going on out there. But the purpose of today is just to have you hear stories of people that are using digital currency. They've got experiences. They're creating wealth. We have people on here that have created 10,000 in extra wealth in the last year. We have people that have created 100,000 in wealth. We have people on here that have created multi-million dollars worth of wealth on here in the last 18 months. And, the sky is the limit. And I will tell you this, everyone who has experience and had experience prior to this with digital currency, raise your hand. Nobody. Okay. So you can see that you don't have to have experience in digital currency. This is something that is new to most people around the world. And what's great about it, it's like being in 1991 and we have the opportunity to go educate people. How many of y'all would like to go back to 1991 and be in front of the internet again, like knowing what you know today, how big it was? How many of y'all would like to go back and educate people on digital, on the internet, and be a part of that opportunity again? I think a lot of people said, no, I'm so caught up in my career, I don't have time to focus on the internet. I got to focus on my career. And I will tell you this, the internet made my family wealthy. It made so many of my friends wealthy. It was just a very, very exciting time for all of us. And it was a transformational technology that just changed the way we did life in such a positive way. And I love what we're doing here with digital currency because there is a massive mission behind digital currency. There's 2 billion people around the world that don't have access to banking, but they do have mobile phones. And we have the ability to connect those people with commerce and with the idea that they can lift themselves out of poverty, they can create business, they can go after their dreams, and they have the ability to transact business anywhere in the world without being raped with the super high fees that banks and money remittance companies charge. So let me do this. I'm going to go around and I'm going to talk to a couple people, especially people that are in the areas where we're doing events, because I would like them to share information with you about the event that's coming up. I'm going to start with Sandy Davis down there. I'm going to have her talk about Greenville and what we've got going on in Greenville. But Sandy, it's great to have you online with us. How are you doing today?
Hi, doing wonderful.
Good.
Thank you for the Zoom.
Before I forget, tell me a little bit about the Greenville event that's coming up so everybody knows. Question, do you want me to create an Evite system for it, or are we good to go?
That would be great. I tell you, you're really talking to the wrong person because I'm up in Virginia, and it's Pete Vreeland and Mark Howbig are the Greenville guys. And anyway, all I know is that it's Thursday, November 17th at the Hilton downtown. I in fact was asking Pete and Mark for the rest of the details today. So Pete's been in Hawaii. And so I don't know any more than that.
Okay.
I think an e-bike would be great. I think we need to be promoting this a lot more than we are, and that's what I was trying to do today.
We got a lot of people coming.
Details.
Yeah, we have one group coming that's got over 20, 25 people on their team. They're coming, so we've got a lot of people coming from all over. So going to be
yes, there is.
So
we've got people coming up in Virginia, so as well.
Very good. So tell us a little bit about your digital currency experience. What's going on in your digital currency life? What are you excited about? You've read anything lately? Anything changed since a couple weeks ago when we talked to you last?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I read a couple articles about, because Trump's going into office, that was good news for cryptocurrency and the internet. So I don't know. That kind of looks favorable, and I just feel like everybody's, well, I don't, depend on what side you're on, I guess, but everybody's seeming very positive now, and it seems like to me that that's going to loosen up money. People feel like they can put something into something like cryptocurrency that sounds kind of foreign to them and a little bit risky. So less
regulations is definitely good, and if that's the agenda, that will be good for the digital currency industry. So for sure.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Let's hope he does what he says. So
yeah.
Anyway, things are just going great. We're coming up on this split, and as always, when a split's happening, we've got a lot of packages coming in, people upgrading and getting educated in cryptocurrency. So things are looking good. Haven't got that Sprinter yet, but we're still working on it.
Yeah, that's the goal, the Sprinter. Huh? Yeah, it's a great looking truck.
Before Christmas.
Tell me, have you logged into XCoinX yet and seen the exchange yet?
I have not. I did watch I tried once this morning, and it wasn't working quite yet. So I have watched the video, and it looks super easy. How to make all that happen? Just I don't think it's a whole lot different from our old exchange. Really, just a few clicks, and you're in, and you're mining and transferring your coins. So I'm super excited about that, though. Looks wonderful.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So, well, fantastic, great having you online. So we're November 17th at the Hilton in Greenville.
Yes, downtown Hilton. I think it's at 7, maybe 6:30. I'm sorry, I don't have the details. I tried to get them today.
Oh, I got advice. Get there early if you want to chair. That's all I can tell you, because it's gonna be standing room only. So awesome, Sandy. Thanks for being online with us and sharing your story about digital currency. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having this.
Yeah. And if Mark or Pete are on, I don't think they are, but if anybody has the address to Greenville, somebody has downloaded it, that would be fantastic. Let's see what we got here. I haven't heard from Ken in a while. Ken, the DC Dreamer. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Tom?
Great. How you been?
I've been busier than I want to be, doing things that I don't want to do, and that's why I'm building a future with digital currency. Educating people, getting excited, building my portfolio.
Yeah.
Kicking myself today. I think I saw you made a post about Trump coin. I think I should have grabbed some of that sooner, but it's still pretty low. So I think you're right. That's gonna be something to have your hands on here pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll see about that. It's kind of speculative. I wouldn't put a lot in it. I would just say that because we don't quite know who's behind it yet, but they put his name on it, so you assume he hadn't sued them yet, but we'll see. But yeah, it had a nice 300% increase. My $500 turned into $1,500 overnight, which was kind of fun. But yeah, that one is not one that I'm telling people to put in their portfolio unless they just want to gamble a little. But yeah, tell me a little bit about just the process of getting involved, Ken. We got a lot of new people on tonight. Just tell them about your experience, because I think you've been in it a little over a year. Have you been in a little over a year?
No, it's only been about 6-7 months.
No, it's been longer than that.
April, March, yeah, maybe 8 months. Yeah, it's not been quite a year.
I got a year. I thought it'd been longer than that.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. Okay, so what you need to do is just learn, follow the people who get you involved. We're trying to educate you for your own benefit. The more you know, the more you will dive into this, the more you'll share, the more confidence you have. And something you don't have to worry about that just not even a year ago was more prevalent than it was today is that the quality of what we have is strong, but there's so many, and it's so strong, so many people are coming against it in this world, kind of like what Trump went through with the media. We've gone through. But what I can tell you is everything that Dr. Aruja has ever said has been conservative. Everything, she's under promised and over delivered every step of the way. And so I've seen people get discouraged. I've seen people listen to expert friends and family and getting taken out. So I had an interesting thing the other day. I talked to a guy brand new, and I was thinking this guy was not going to be completely educated about it, and so he was going to be skeptical, and then he's going to go to the internet like a lot of people do, and just say, hey, it's a scam. There's so many people that have done that. And this guy, and this is what's happening more and more, is that he went, and the next day when we got back, I said, and I forgot to tell him, hey, as you start looking on the internet, you'll look at the stuff we give you, temperate. He said, stop, Ken. He goes, this is unbelievable. You can't go anywhere and find anything. This company, there's only good things. You cannot find anything credible that's any credible sources, people that are how do I say it? I just lost my words. There's no credible sources that are knocking this company. It's only good press. So if you dig in, you look at the real stuff, it's strong. It's as Bob said, better than you know, and it's just getting better. So anyways.
Bigger than you think, better than you know, or better than you know.
Oh yeah. Bigger than
I can't remember what he says, but yeah.
And it's true today. So I don't know, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what mining means to you. I know a lot of people are confused by mining. It's the one thing people think. I don't see any racks of servers behind you or anything like that in the back of your house, but tell me a little bit about your mining process and why you're excited about it, and what is mining to you?
Oh, well, actually, because I looked at it a year ago, I looked into Bitcoin and some other things and learned about mining and the software and the hardware and the money and the energy you had to put in. That's why I didn't get into a lot of Bitcoin at that point. It seemed too complicated. Mining cost a lot of money, or you had to have the hardware. From the very first day, looking at OneLife, OneCoin, mining, it's a matter of if you can click the mouse and you can mine. It's that simple. We have a back office like PayPal. A lot of people say it's just point and click, and that's take tokens that we're given with our educational packages, put them into mining, and with the click of a mouse, it's easy.
Yeah, I tell people, if you can use one of these things right here, a little calculator. I don't know if you can see me, but you see that? If you can use one of those right there, if you can type buttons on that, you can do mining with us. But how many of you, by show of hands, how many of you were intimidated by Bitcoin? Or if you knew about it, how many of you kind of turned away because you didn't know what mining was? Anybody? Got a lot of people don't know about it, but that's a lot of people are intimidated by mining, and they're like, oh, well, I see pictures on the internet, and I heard what you had to do to get all, but yeah, it scares people away. Ken, any advice you give to people that are getting started for the first time, that are on board tonight? What would you tell them?
Just educate yourself, follow the leaders, and educate yourself. Get excited about it, and just tell people, because there's nothing. It's truth, and truth will always prevail. So if you just speak it, but the more you know, the better you're gonna. Just educate yourself and speak the truth.
Awesome, man. So you a coin millionaire yet? You getting there?
Pretty close.
That's awesome, man. It's great having you online. It's good seeing you. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you.
So when we talk about mining, folks, one thing that you need to understand, mining is part of the process of digital currency, especially when you have a new digital currency. somebody has to bring the currency into existence. And I don't know if you all understand that when you start a new economy or when you start a new currency, it's important that people have a vested interest in the company and people create the value. And so miners are people who bring the currency into existence. Now, we get a reward for bringing the currency into existence. We get it at a discount. We get it on sale. And because we're putting up the initial risk capital, we're putting up the initial efforts, we're putting up with the patience in the beginning. In the first 2 years, we didn't have anywhere to spend it, you know? And now January 1st, we're going to be able to start spending it. And because of our faith and because of our belief and because of our courage, we got the currency at a very deep discount. In fact, I got coins at 43 cents, 44 cents, I think in the very beginning. And today they're worth $8. So as I like to tell people, my dollar bills turned into $20 bills. How many of y'all would like a stack of $20 bill or dollar bills to turn into $20 bills? And that's because you're at the right place at the right time. I had that happen to me quite a bit in the internet days as well. When I bought stock in companies or I got stock for doing consulting or money raising or whatever, we used to get paid in these very cheap shares called options. And, you know, because we were there at the beginning, and I have a lot of those pieces of paper that are still sitting in a file cabinet that became worthless. And I had some that became worth millions and millions of dollars because I was at the right place at the right time. And I was willing to take a little bit of risk. And as I tell everybody that, you know, risk is a prerequisite of wealth. And if you don't like risk, this probably isn't going to be for you. In fact, I like to tell people that if your palms sweat, if you make more than 5% a year, probably not a good business for you. As somebody mentioned earlier, if you happen to listen, I think it was Ken, if you listen to somebody who works 9 to 5 for investment advice, probably not the right business for you. Because if they work 9 to 5, they're obviously not very good at what they do. And, you know, I tell people when you research Google, and if you don't go past the first 10 search results, which are mostly online marketers and blogs and people that are leveraging keywords to get top search engine rank placement, if you don't get past the first page, you'll never find the truth and what's really going on. So I want to encourage everybody that when you start doing your due diligence on this, be sure to go to websites like CoinDesk and read the real deal about digital currency. And you know, I think what sets me apart differently than most people is I'm building a portfolio of digital currencies. I've got probably 5 currencies right now that I have money in. And I'm kind of creating my own mutual fund of digital currencies. And I have a pretty large stake in OneCoin as well. And so I think it's important that as you all move forward, think about your risk management, think about your diversification, and think about what's best for you and your family. I'm not a financial advisor, but I've been in the industry long enough that I tell people diversification is always a good thing. Especially when you're in the beginning of industries and new businesses, and you know, especially a new business. And I was telling everybody today, and it kind of hit me that you know there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of digital currencies that get released over the next 5 years. Countries are going to release digital currencies. Companies are going to release digital currencies. There will be big digital currencies like PayPal and Amazon and OneCoin and Bitcoin and Ethereum, and some of the first movers that are there will create mega wealth for many people. And as I tell you that, you know, mining, the one thing we're going to talk about tonight, probably the most important thing, is something that all of you, if you want to get wealthy very quickly and make more money in the next 3 years than you've made all of your life, maybe in the next 2 years, wrap your head around mining and understand it. And I'll talk about the 3 different types of mining methods tonight when I get into a chart. I want to share some information with you and show you why OneCoin has probably cracked the code, not probably, they have cracked the code on making digital currency very easy for people to understand. And when you come in and you mine digital currency, and this will be a pop quiz for somebody later, so make sure you write this down. After you mine digital currency, there's three things you can do with it. You can save it, you can spend it, or you can sell it. And right now, most people are not selling it because they're seeing it go up in value so fast that they want to hang on to it. And when you have a coin that's at $8 and in the next 12 months it's projected to be $25, there's more people buying right now than selling. And so there's quite the demand for OneCoin, and it's pretty exciting to be involved in. Almost like, y'all remember how Google went public? They almost did what was called a Dutch public offering, because they had more than 500 shareholders and they couldn't really do an IPO. So they had to go to market and do a Dutch offering is what it was called. And it was pretty interesting. They didn't realize they had violated that rule, and that's what caused the Dutch offering. But they basically did a public offering direct and opened up their stock program. And I see some very similar ideas with what Dr. Rush is doing with OneCoin, in that once we hit 70 or 80% of our coins mined, she's going to open it up and do a Dutch offering, which is going to allow the general public around the world to gain access to our currency. And by then, we're going to have tens of millions of people on board that are going to be telling all of their friends about this exciting offering. Well, guess what happened with Google? Everybody was using Google. So when they found out that it was going public, everybody knew about it and everybody wanted Google stock. And I see some very similar opportunities here with OneCoin to create some pretty significant wealth. And we've been told that sometime in 2018, Dr. Rusha is going to open this up for some form of Dutch offering or public offering, whether it's on Forex or it's just a general public offering. We don't know. But everybody who has coins and has gotten them at these very ridiculously low prices that we're getting them at right now, the people who get those coins are going to be the ones that really benefit in a very, very big way. But it wouldn't be right with Veterans Day tomorrow if I didn't talk to one of our veterans, and I'd love to bring up Talton Cooper, if I could, Junior, and say hi to him. Everybody loves.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Great to have you online. Well, number one, from all of us, we want to thank you, even the people that don't live in the country, for keeping our freedom strong and keeping that flag flying, and being one of our veterans. I know that I've heard your whole story, and it was extremely inspirational and touching, and some of the challenges that you're dealing with now. But I know we're always happy to see you on here plugging away at digital currency, and it's always just a joy to hear from you. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Tom. I appreciate the kind words, and I was on earlier today as well, and was excited. This is an awesome opportunity, and I would be crazy not to jump on and do as much as I can.
Well, tell us a little bit about your story. Let people know a little bit about you, and obviously a little bit about your military background, and then let's get into digital currency and talk about how you were introduced. So let's start with a little bit of your personal story. Let people know who you are a little bit.
Okay. Well, I served 6 years active duty, 19 years in the Naval Reserve. And so I was in the military quite some time, enjoyed it, and this business has made me realize more and more that not only do I want to learn it for myself, but offer it to others. We live in probably the most capitalistic, free enterprise type country in the world. And yet I find most folks don't even participate at that level, don't even know. And I mean, it's kind of crazy that we aren't taught these principles in school. I mean, capitalism and free enterprise is what is the driving force behind inventions and what have you. But as far as cryptocurrency is concerned, it's going great. up to about 80,000 coins now.
You had a good double. That's great.
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, we had one-off book and one-on book as well. My sponsor is Randy Strain, who I know from way back here in Houston, and he can he's a good guy. But yes, it's going great, and I'm always about learning and being a sponge. Not only am I learning about cryptocurrency, but I'm also learning about crowdsource funding. I mean, a lot of things happened in 2014 with the Jobs Act, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. You can make money sitting at home, clicking, talking, whatever. I mean, you don't have to leave your house now, and I feel like I need to learn as much as I can about everything, the different cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Ripple, Light, whatever, Alt, Pipcoin. In Africa, I'm walking around with my headset on and listening to videos all day. I sleep with them at nighttime as well, because I feel like you can learn subconsciously when you sleep as well. And so I feel like the more knowledgeable I am, the more I'll be able to help people help themselves. And not just folks abroad, but folks here in the U.S. I mean, we need to know what Wall Street's all about, and the Fed, and the whole 9 yards. And you can work your whole life, and we've seen it over and over, and still be behind. It's crazy that you have to find a part-time job after you finish working for 4 years. That's crazy, but it is what it is, and I'm trying to change it.
Awesome, man. That's great. It's great to hear your enthusiasm, and you got that smile on your face like you have discovered something and you want everybody to know about it. I love that. I love that smile. But great having you online. Again, thank you for your service. Thanks for your commitment. Thanks for being here and showing up for practice. And I'm happy that you have found a home in digital currency. So it's great to have you on.
Thank you for doing what you do.
It's my pleasure. This is the easy part, getting to talk to a bunch of cool people around the world. So my wife will tell you I have no problem talking. So she thinks it's kind of funny. So, but great having you online. Thanks, Dalton.
Appreciate you, Tom. Thank you.
Fantastic. That's another Texan right there as well. Let me do this. I'm going to jump over to how about, let's see, we're at 1040. Let me cover 4 elements of cryptocurrency with you all real quick, because I see a lot of new people on here, and I'd like to make sure that you all understand a little bit about cryptocurrency and kind of what makes the ecosystem work, if you will. And I'm just going to jump straight to a chart that will educate you on really what cryptocurrency is and how this whole ecosystem works. But let me pull up so you may want to take some notes here, something that may help you out understand what this is all about if you haven't seen this. Let me go screen share. There we go. So, you know, when you're creating a new economy, and I like to always pay tribute to Dr. Rusha, because she's doing something really only our forefathers have done, and people that came before her in creating governments and economies and things like that is a pretty tricky proposition. And there's 4 elements to creating not only an economy like the United States economy, but also a cryptocurrency. And I'll kind of run them parallel together. I'm not going to dig too deep tonight, but when you think of the algorithm, if you look up the word algorithm, it's basically a mathematical equation that's designed to create an outcome. It's an equation that's designed to produce something or perform something. And an algorithm is, I always tell people, it's like an algorithm has letters and numbers in it. And the minute you throw numbers in an equation, a mathematical equation, I'm done, because, you know, I'm good with this calculator right here. You know, that's my math. That's my equation right there. But I don't think you can do algorithms on that calculator. But an algorithm is when you publish it, and I want you to have a vision in your mind that we are going to create a currency, a digital currency. So we have this digital safe, if you will, and we're gonna put everything in that digital safe. We're gonna lock it up, and then we're gonna upload it to the internet. And what we're gonna lock in that safe is we're gonna lock, number one, the number of coins that can be created. So let's say that there's gonna be 10 million coins created. So we're gonna lock 10 million coins inside that safe, and we're also gonna determine the number of coins that can come out during a certain time period. So we may say 100,000 coins can come out every 10 minutes or something like that. So we know that we have a steady production of coins that's coming out, and the market doesn't get flooded with coins or anything like that. But we're going to produce a certain amount of coins over a certain time period. So over 20 years, let's say that we're going to distribute those 10 million coins, okay? And we can't change that. Remember, we can't change any of this once we publish this to the internet. And then we're going to determine some competition ratios that make the price on the coin go up as the competition increases. So as it gets more competitive for that fixed number of coins, we're going to increase the price based on some type of logarithmic scale or some type of scale, some type of formula, if you will. Okay. And once we publish the algorithm, and by the way, this is the most difficult part of the entire thing I have to talk about. But the algorithm, once we publish it up to the internet and we lock it in the safe, all these details, nobody can unlock it. Nobody can change it. It can't be changed. So nobody can go open the safe and say, we're going to print more coins. Nobody can say, oh, we're going to change the distribution. Nobody's going to say, we're going to change the pricing just because we feel like it. Once the algorithm is published, folks, that's it. Okay. Now, OneCoin did something unprecedented because they recognized a need for it. They recognized that their algorithm was too small, that it wasn't going to accomplish what it needed to. And we retired an algorithm and we published a brand new one. And we migrated everybody over from the old one to the new one before we got too far down the road. And it really was brilliant. It was the right thing to do. And I don't think the owners of our company recognized how successful this was going to be by combining digital currency education with network marketing. Okay, so now we've got our algorithm. When you think of the algorithm as it relates to the United States, think of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the algorithm of the United States, the financial algorithm. Okay, now miners are the people who bring the currency into existence. So they are the ones that are responsible for unlocking these 10 million coins through a process called mining. I'm not going to get into that process. Mining is something that is done with computers that is beyond my knowledge. Okay, I could probably explain it, but there's no need to understand. It's kind of like I'm teaching you how to operate websites today, but there's no need for us to go into HTML coding. I don't need to tell you how to code a website. What I need to tell you is this is how it works. This is how it flows. Okay, but miners, they bring the currency into circulation. They're kind of like cryptocurrency investment bankers. And when you think of miners in the real world in the United States, you think of companies like JP Morgan, you think of Bank of China, you think of Bank of Turkey, Bank of Russia, you think of the large investment firms that help the Federal Reserve bring currency into existence. So there's definitely a parallel here, folks, something very similar to what we're doing as to what, the same way the U.S. financial economy is structured, okay? Once we have that currency in our hands, in our e-wallets, we have three options. We can save it, we can spend it, or we can sell it, okay? A lot of people are saving it right now because it's going up in value. I heard Dalton say that he had 80,000 coins, and if Dr. Rusha is correct, in 12 months, he will be a cryptocurrency millionaire. And I'm sure that's making him smile right there. But when you think about miners, once we have the coins, we are the early adopters. It's kind of like if you're starting a brand new technology company and you went to your friends and family would be the miners, the ones who are putting up the initial capital to make it happen. Okay. Now, once we've mined the coins, we got to have some place to store them. So we got to have bank accounts. You know, think of real world, you think about bank accounts, you think about stock brokerage accounts, things like that. Well, in safety deposit boxes, whatever you want to put your money in. Well, in our business, we have to have technology. We have to have an e-wallet. We have to have an exchange. I'm going to show you that exchange today. It's called xcoinx.com. Then you got to have e-commerce. You know why you got to have e-commerce? Because why the hell would you create a currency if you weren't going to spend it? Okay, we're creating a currency that we can spend as well. That is the ultimate goal, is to create flow and to create a cryptocurrency economy where we can spend our currency with businesses around the world. And in the next 10 months, next 12 months, you're going to see about 1 million businesses worldwide come online that are willing to accept OneCoin. And so our merchant program, we have a merchant program it's a mobile app builder. We call it MAB, and it's a way that businesses around the world can actually accept OneCoin. And it's pretty cool. By the way, these 4 elements, there's a technology that's running behind these 4 elements, and you see it. It's called the blockchain. Okay, and the blockchain is a technology that did not exist before 2010. And it's a technology that allows this to actually work. And it's kind of like I tell people, TCP/IP did not exist really before 1990 for average people. It did. It existed in 1983, actually, but they didn't release it to the general public until 1990. But TCP/IP is what makes the internet work. And prior to 1990, you couldn't do the internet unless you worked with ARPANET or some government agency. Well, today we have the opportunity to do business without using banks because of blockchain-based technology. So that's a little bit, those are the 4 elements of creating a cryptocurrency economy, if you will. And they are all 4 things that we have in place. And we have over 2.6 million members. We're growing at 150,000 people per month. And folks, we're on to something. This is the next Google. And I do want to mention that, you know, I tell people, I say, you know, we're the fastest growing company in the world right now. We're the fastest company in the world to do $1 billion in revenue. We did $1 billion in revenue faster than Amazon did. We did $1 billion and faster than Google did. $1 billion faster than Uber did. We did $1 billion faster than eBay did. We did $1 billion faster than Microsoft did. Yeah, it's like we did $1 billion faster than Facebook did. Is anybody excited about a company that did $1 billion in revenue faster than all of the wealthiest, biggest companies in the world? I am. How about a company that knocked down a few $1 billion in its second year in business? You know, and not with a lot of challenges. I mean, we've done it with challenges. We've done it with bank challenges. We are growing like wildfire. And I tell people, you know, people come to here and they complain about the challenges. And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, that's like being involved in Google in the first 2 years and saying, you know, my desk just isn't comfortable enough, or my desk chair is not comfortable enough, or what have you. And it's like, it's because we don't want to, we want to save our money, you know. But I look at what OneCoin is doing, and they are producing everything. Ken's right. Ken mentioned something, and he didn't go into great detail, but a year ago, our website had the word diamond misspelled on it. I mean, we had I hate to say it, but it was one of the ugliest websites on the internet in the network marketing industry. It just really was. In the cryptocurrency industry, it was definitely one of the ugliest websites in the world. And it looked like something from the 1990s, but you know what? Every time we logged in, it worked. And even with as fast as this company grew, we had 99.9% uptime. But every week, every Monday, I got paid. And every Monday, the accounting on my pay was correct. And I'm sitting there going, you know, somebody is behind this company to put on 2.6 million people. I have to figure that out at how many. I think it's like 2,000 people per day. 2,000 people per day. Somebody have to do the math for me and let me know how many. 24 months, 2.6 million people. How many people is that per day at 200 business days per year. Somebody do the math for me, but I think it's like 2,000, 2,600, something like that, something insane. But pretty incredible opportunity we have here, folks, with digital currency. I am going to go over a mining chart so we can talk about why you want to be a miner and ultimately what the benefit is. How many of y'all would like to get money on sale? If I could get you $10 bills for $1, how many of you are game? You in? Okay. Well, that's what mining is. So stick around for a minute. And even JP's owl wants, 10 cent dollars. I love it. But let me jump over to Lori Salisbury. How are you doing? Everybody calls you Lori S. You know that? Can I hear you?
Know that.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I wasn't expecting you to call on me, though.
I know. I never let anybody know who I'm calling on. First Kirsten's laughing. She's next. But she's like, wait, I don't even know who you are. So where are you today? You in Oregon?
No, I'm up in northern Idaho. I'm in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, are you in Coeur d'Alene? That is one coin country up there. So.
Well, yeah, and I've been asking around to find out, like who can I contact up here that's a OneCoin member, and people said Bob Byram. I haven't known how to reach him yet. And today I was looking around with a realtor, and I started to do my OneCoin spill to him. And he's already a OneCoin member.
That's funny. That's great. So did he get you connect you with the group? Because if not, Kevin, I know Kevin Foster, who's on here, can connect you with a bunch of people who's up in Coeur d'Alene. So Kevin, if you can post your information in chat or help Lori out. Did you get in touch with anybody up there?
Not yet. No, not yet.
Okay. Well, we definitely know a lot of people up there and have a lot of friends up there, but it's awesome. Tell us a little bit about your new in cryptocurrency. How long have you been involved?
Since about the 1st of June.
1st of June. Okay. And what have you done as a new person to learn it, study it? What have been some of your habits in, learning about digital currency?
Well, I try to get on as many calls as I can. I try to listen to these Zoom casts, and I'm in a really great group with Janet from New Mexico and Corinne and Christina, and so I have all those people who are just really supporting each other, and I try to read as much as I can, and I just can't get enough of this. I eat it, sleep, dream it, breathe it. Yeah.
That's very cool. Are you reading the Blockchain Revolution by Don Tapscott yet?
Just the video so far. But I did order you recommended it, the book, The One Thing.
Yeah, The One Thing, by Gary Keller. That's an awesome book.
Yeah, I did. I have a hard time sitting still, so I got it on I don't know where you can listen to audio, so I can drive and listen to it.
Yeah. I
also got the 4-Hour Work Week.
Yeah, by Tim Ferriss. That's a great book.
Yeah.
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 Now you can see where I got all these ideas to do this business online, huh?
Well, I'm still listening. Listening. But I do a lot of driving around, so it keeps me entertained.
What obviously cryptocurrency, I mean, is there anything you can relate it to? I mean, were you an early adopter with the internet, or were you a late adopter?
I was pretty early adopter. Yeah.
Were you pre 2000?
Let's see. Yes, I was. I had a website. Yeah.
Good. Very good. Yeah, early on. It's having a website anytime mid 90s, you were definitely ahead of the curve. I know we started ours in 96, 97, and I remember we were publishing blogs before WordPress. So it was definitely early adopter in that. And looking at the similarities as far as, what digital currency and where we are today and what about digital currency, were you on, did you do AOL when it first came on? Were you an AOL user?
I was, yeah.
So AOL, very simple for those that don't know about AOL. It was very difficult to get online early on in the United States. We were using Netscape and UUNet and Mindspring and a bunch of very complicated ways to get online. And then it was really cool. AOL came along with this CD-ROM, or actually it was a floppy first, and then they came out with a CD-ROM where you could just plug it into your computer and it loaded it on, and you just put in your username and password and you booted it right up, and it was easy to access your email and surfing and, all the, media things. It was pretty cool. Newspapers. It was very organized. And Steve Case created AOL. And I like to tell people that OneCoin is a lot like AOL, that they've just made it easy. And that's why we're growing bigger than Bitcoin every 2 months as far as our size of, our community. But so plugging into the webinars has helped you, reading books. Have you watched Dr. Rush's videos much?
Yeah, no, I watch everything I can get my hands on, or that gets referred to me by, my team. I watch them, and I watch them again, and then I watch them again before I send them to people too, just to make sure that's the one that applies to them, that would work better for who I know that they are.
Do you have an icebreaker question that you ask people to create a conversation, to open a conversation about digital currency?
Yeah, I usually ask if they know anything about Bitcoin.
That is the ultimate icebreaker question. You ever want to get a no from somebody? Just ask them if they've ever heard of Bitcoin. Usually you'll get a no. It's pretty open. I was sitting at a Thai restaurant the other day with my wife, and of course my icebreaker was, I just got back from Thailand, and he goes, "What were you doing down there?" I was like, "Yes, great question. I was at a digital currency congress." It was like just opened the door wide open and had a great conversation with the guy. But we're looking forward to. He goes, "Yeah, my friend is in Thailand, and we're trying to do an import-export business, and we're trying to figure out how to send money back and forth." I'm like, "Yes, I got just the thing for you." So, it's funny, if you listen to people long enough. I always tell people, if you listen to people long enough, within 5 minutes, typically people will tell you what their problem is. And I like to tell people we're in the problem-solving business, and most people's problems revolve around money. Kevin says 3,500 members a day joining. Could you imagine having to onboard 3,500 members a day? Mark says about 4,000 people per day, but that's a lot of people. But anyway, I'm excited to have you on board and look forward to meeting you. And are you going to be anywhere near our LA or Las Vegas events?
I'm planning to come to the Las Vegas one, December 3rd. Is that right?
Fantastic. Yep. And some people will be happy to know this. Hopefully there won't be any protests, but it's going to be at the Trump Tower. I hate to say it, but it'll be at the Trump Tower. We got actually a really good room rate because I stay there all the time. But we'll be at Trump Tower. I'm going to confirm that tomorrow. And there'll be an Evite put together for that December 3rd in Las Vegas. So if you're there, excited. We'll be in LA on December 2nd. We have not confirmed that location yet. I'm waiting on Lynn Rose, and if she can't find anything, Digna's going to help us find something. And then December 1st, we're going to be in Atlanta. And of all places, I don't have that location, but it's probably going to be at the Renaissance at the airport, which may be an easy location for everybody to get to. So, well, thanks for hanging out with me. It's always cool seeing you.
Thanks, Tom.
Great having you online with us. Very good. Well, let me do this. I'm going to jump up to Kevin. Kevin is man, he's like, we call him the heartbeat of OneCoin. This is our resident hippie multi-gazillionaire in digital currency. He was there at the right place at the right time. He recognized that digital currency was the next big thing, and he did his research. He understood that, he was. I think you were looking at the mobile app industry, weren't you? Or you were excited about the mobile app industry, Kevin, or something related to mobile apps. And
yeah, I was in the mobile app industry at the time when I first saw this.
Very cool. Do you like Foghat?
Somewhat.
You like Metallica?
Not so much anymore.
No.
Used to in the 80s when they actually played good music.
There you go. I had a feeling you'd say that. Anyway, great having you online. Kevin is he's been in since the beginning and has just created a monster organization. Thousands and thousands of people around the world are in cryptocurrency because of Kevin and his resilience and his ability to help people and explain to people and calm people down And when I tell people that, there are some people that have an opportunity to make more within a 3-year period or a couple-year period, 3-year period than they made most of their life, I'd have to say you're probably going to fall into that category, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, every 10-cent increase is equivalent to a year's salary now, so it's pretty wicked.
Did you say 10 cents?
Yeah, every 10 cents the value of the coin goes up, covers a year's worth of my salary. So I figure after $44, basically I'll put in a 40-year career without having to trade a dollar or an hour for any of it.
That's very cool. It's very cool. Well, tell people, what was your first conference you went? Your first conference was Dubai?
No, actually, my first meetup was April 18th of 2015 when we got the first visit from our Sweden brother, Per Carlson, and I drove down to LA and met with Bob Byram and Mindy Torres and several people down there for a small, intimate meeting with Per, and that totally drove home the power of this opportunity. Per had showed me through his back office how he paid for his plane tickets through the back office out there. He had told me about a girl that had on his team that had sponsored one person who brought in literally she brought in one person and she was maxing out the comp plan as a result of that. Wow. People ask me like, well, how is that possible? Well, she brought in a monster and the check matches she got off that guy just opened some doors for her. She was barely making, I think, less than $800 dollars in her country or whatever. Very poor, single mom, and that just blew me away. She hadn't built a team really, but just based off that one simple thing and finding the right person changed her life dramatically. And I was just doing the numbers, Tom. I figured out my wholesale price, 0.028 or 0.023, I think was my coin cost when I got in.
That's amazing. That's incredible. 3 cents. But what's so funny, Kevin, even with the super split we've got going on and the combo packages and things like that, it's pretty amazing. You can get coins as low as 11 cents still, if you look at a much bigger package. And
absolutely,
the opportunity, I don't want people to think that the opportunity is gone, but when you're at the right place at the right time and you have the courage to pull the trigger like Kevin did, you're going to get a better deal on the coins. But I also tell people, Kevin, I think that getting people involved now is actually easier than it was a year ago, just because of the tools, the websites, just everything that we have in place. It's just a lot more compelling proposition because, would you agree with me? Our website wasn't all that attractive a year ago.
There was not a lot of things that were attractive when I got started other than the math and the coin value.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you guys a story real quick. I actually forced my sponsor's hand. Nobody expected me to jump in with a tycoon when I got involved in this, and when I did, my sponsor was like, "Uh-oh," and that actually caused my sponsor to upgrade to a tycoon. But it's kind of a funny little story. I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, sometimes you'll miss income if you don't upgrade. So you got to be a little concerned about that. But awesome, man. This Xcoin X thing's pretty cool. Any thoughts on it?
I just finished doing the migration process for my main account just a little bit ago, and a little tedious at first just to kind of figure out. There's some things that pop up, show errors. You just got to refresh the screen. Do the terms and conditions agreement, moving over there and go through the process of just moving coins you have in your trading account over that, or value you have in your trading account over to that platform. For those of you that had commissions on Monday and weren't able to submit them, you can do it now. And my bid's in, it's showing, it's pending, posting, looks good.
Yeah.
Very excited.
I have noticed coins from the mining process are popping literally into my account every day, if not every other day now. So every time I log into my account, I've got more coins. So that new blockchain is humming, and that new 1 minute algorithm is producing coins. We got to a point, folks, where we were going to have a 6 to 9 month delay on coins because there was so much demand on the mining process. And that was one of the reasons that we switched into a new algorithm, because we had to solve the problem. I mean, it was going to be a problem where, you know, the last thing you want is people coming on board saying, I'm excited about cryptocurrency, and having to wait 6 to 9 months to get their coins. And that 10-minute algorithm that Bitcoin kind of set the trend on is the wrong answer. This 1 minute algorithm is the right answer. And Dr. Rusha was very brave to change the algorithm like she did and launch a new one. She took a lot of criticism for it, but I tell you what, everybody's seeing those coins flowing into your accounts now. I guarantee you're not criticizing her now, because everybody's happy they're getting all their coins. But man, it's always great seeing you. Am I going to see you out in LA or Las Vegas, or we're going to see you anywhere out there?
I'm planning on being down in Vegas over the December first weekend in December. I definitely want to get down there to see my buddy Joby and you. I know you're doing an event on the 3rd, I believe. Yeah. So I plan on being there, bringing Liz and meeting all our huge Vegas team down there, Leah and Jody and Mike and Elena and Dennis and Nicole Burns, and, you know, everybody that's screaming with this opportunity, the ones that aren't making excuses and, you know, kicking butt and taking names later. You know, there's really, you guys are all a part of the most fantastic opportunity on the planet, period. When you have an appreciating asset as a product, you can't beat it. Beats every product company out there, period.
Yeah, my milkshakes never doubled in value.
Nope.
Well, my water filters never doubled in value.
It sure costs a lot more to buy those milkshakes than what they used to.
I don't have to have a garage anymore, man. I can take Uber. I don't even need a car to park my garage in, or my products. You know, I don't have to park my products in my garage anymore. But man, it's great having you online. Thanks, Kevin.
Awesome. Thank you.
Let's see what we got here. Let me jump over to a mining chart because I'm running a little bit over. You know, I always do that. But let me just jump into it. That's true. Yeah, don't have to have a garage. And Nicole got that one. You're in the network marketing business. We used to have a thing called Garage Qualified, where you bought $5,000 worth of water filters, and you had to move a car out of your garage to store all of the water filters that you just bought. And if you were like most people, they sat there for a long time. Let's talk real quick about mining, digital currency, and we'll wrap it up here. I definitely going to talk about the exchange at the end. I want to show you what's going on there. You heard Kevin talk a little bit about it at first, but I have not migrated my coins over, so I will be glad to. I think I'm logged into my account. I'll log in when I get there and show it to you. But pretty cool stuff. And I think, I don't know who said it was, but it's pretty basic. It's a bid and an ask, but I'm going to teach you a couple secrets about bid and ask that you may not have known, so stick around. But mining, as I've mentioned, we are like the investment bankers of cryptocurrency. We are the early adopters. We are the ones that get this stuff on sale, okay? Our role is to bring currency into circulation, so all of the people who are chicken, who walked away from this thing, get to buy it from us at a much higher price later on, okay? Miners get the currency at a deep discount for putting up the risk capital, the paid-in capital, the energy, whatever you want to call it, to bring the coins into existence. And I will tell you that there are 3 types of mining. You might want to write these down. Here comes some education for you, okay? The first type of mining is what we call computer-based, CPU-based computing, mining. And that is where you actually have to have servers, and you have to have computing power, and you have to have knowledge, and you are hooking up those computers, and those computers are competing. And this is the model that Bitcoin uses, which is why it really hasn't taken on real big around the world, because the average person is intimidated by Bitcoin. It's interesting. It's not really, there's no need to be intimidated about Bitcoin much anymore, because there's really no more mining opportunity. More than 70% of the coins have been mined already. And frankly, you got to have a gigantic server room in Iceland sitting over a iceberg getting free cold air, because it's so competitive you can't even afford the energy to cool the servers. It's so competitive. And so mining, the computer-based methodology of mining, there's probably some currencies around you can still do it, but they don't have traction, and you might end up spinning your wheels and wasting your money. The second type of mining is what they call crowd sales. You heard Talton mention a word, crowdfunding. Well, crowdfunding is synonymous with crowd sales. And there are some cryptocurrencies that are coming out and they're doing crowd sales where they're saying, we're going to release a certain amount of tokens, or we're doing, it's basically like a public offering where you exchange government issued currency for tokens, and those tokens you can use to mine coins in crowd sales. And so there was a really big crowd sale done recently with an Ethereum-based company called the DAO, and they raised $150 million, and they rushed it to market, and they didn't check their code, and unfortunately they got hacked and lost about half the money. But Ethereum is hopefully fixing the problem or working on fixing the problem. It really wasn't Ethereum's fault as much as it was the vendor who was working on top of their platform. And I like to give people an analogy. If you think of the blockchain software that makes this possible, kind of like TCP makes the internet possible, makes websites possible, blockchain is kind of like the mobile service that powers your phone, and the apps that are on top of your phone or on your phone are like the currencies. Well, the DAO was like an app. It was built on top of the Ethereum blockchain, and they've had a little bit of an issue with that, but they're working it out. And Ethereum, by the way, was adopted by Microsoft as their kind of payment platform or their financial platform that they're using. So it is a highly credible organization. And Vitalik Buterin, the guy who the guy's like the Mark Zuckerberg of the industry. He's very, very brilliant. And so he's a Canadian, and I think he wrote the code at 19 years old. So pretty amazing story about Vitalik. If you ever research his story, he's a pretty interesting character. And then the third type of mining is what we call token-based mining, which is similar to crowd sales, but the difference, like with us, you're purchasing an educational package, and then you're using the tokens to actually mine the coins. The tokens really represent kind of mining credits or units of energy that allow you to gain access to the currency. But with the third element, you don't have to have any financial knowledge or you don't have to have any technical knowledge either. And so I think that the token-based model of what OneCoin is doing is probably the most sound because it's highly efficient. One of the big problems that Bitcoin is having on their mining operation is that their mining operation, as a collective group, they're using more power than the entire country of Holland uses. And so it's very inefficient power-wise. And when you think about it, there's not tens of millions of users of it either. I mean, what would happen if there was hundreds of millions of users of Bitcoin? How much energy would it be using up on the grid? And the thing I like about OneCoin is they could be running this entire operation on a couple servers, hopefully, with different backups around the world, but they could be running this literally on one server if they wanted to because of the way they have it designed. I'm sure they're not, but the idea is it's very efficient, and scalability. Scalability is something that's very, very important in this industry. And OneCoin has a model that makes it very scalable. And if you're going to grow something big, you better be scalable. Your technology better be scalable. And I just don't think Bitcoin's is. I really don't. As a professional person who's known Bitcoin for 6 years, I say that. I think it'll be around for a long time, but I don't ever see Bitcoin being a global reserve currency like OneCoin has set themselves up to be. But anyway, let's look at this chart real quick and the different packages that we have available. We've got a starter package all the way up to a infinity package. The ultimate package, by the way, is no longer available. But let's just look at, say, the Tycoon package or the Pro Trader first. Okay, the Pro Trader package is about $1,300 US. you get 10,000 units of mining credits or units of energy for mining coins that come along with it as a free bonus. You get one split, so your credits actually turn into 20,000. And we have a promotion right now where it actually turns into 40,000. Okay, so we've got a double token promotion going on right now. And if you look at, say, 70 credits per coin divided into 20,000, you're looking at about 286 coins. And that gives you an effective rate of $4.54 per coin. Now, the coin is trading at $8 almost. Okay, so you're getting almost a $3.50 discount per coin for putting up the money to bring the coins into existence. And remember what I said, once you have the coins, you can do three things. You can save them and allow them to go up in value. You can spend them. Starting January 1st, you'll be able to start spending them at businesses around the world, or you can sell them. And you actually can sell coins on the exchange. There's a limit on how many you can sell per day, but it's pretty cool. You know, the way that she's got it structured and all of the systems she's put in place to make this thing run smoothly without the volatility of, say, Bitcoin. Now, look at, say, the premium package. Let's say you've got $14,000 and you say, Tom, I want to exchange $14,000 of money that's decreasing in value. By the way, your government currency is decreasing in value every day. And I'm going to exchange it for an infinity package where you're going to end up with about 68,000 coins. Well, with the current promotion that we have, you're probably going to end up with closer to 120 or 130,000 coins. Okay, but look at your effective price. You remember me saying I got my coins back 18 months ago around 43 cents? Look at this. You can get coins for about 45 cents on the infinity package. Throw a starter package on it and do a combo package, as we call, and you can cut that rate in half to 24 cents. Okay, so we've got ways you can actually get the coin at a better price. And all I can tell you, mining is the #1 wealth building opportunity of the next decade. And if you do what you did with the internet, say, you know, Tom, I'm too busy, I don't have time to learn about this, you're going to make a huge mistake, because there are experts are saying this is going to be 3 to 5 times bigger than the internet, and that in the next 10 years, everybody will be using digital currency. It will be fully adopted within a 17-year period from the time it launched, which will make it the fastest adopted technology in the world. Don't believe me. Listen to Don Tapscott. You know, go to Don Tapscott and type in TED Talk. This is a guy that wrote the very first best-selling book on the internet, and he nailed it, folks. I mean, he had it so right on what the internet was going to do, and he is predicting major things with this as well. Let's jump over to XCoinX real quick and take a look at the platform. And you can see I haven't migrated any coins over here yet, but the back office shows your cash account, shows your trading account, and it shows your OneCoin account. It has the exchange limits as far as what you can sell and what's available based on what you have in there. And you can see you have a bid and you have an ask. And a lot of people are like, what's the difference between the two? Just remember, bid has a B in it, so that's for buy, and ask has an S in it, and that's for sell. So if you want to buy coins, you go in here and bid that you want to buy coins. Now you can buy them at limit. You could set the price at which, say, I want to buy them at $6.85. So if they drop down to $6.85, my order will be filled. Right now, the price is continuing to go up. Or I can say I want to buy it at market. If I do market, then I'm going to be buying it at whatever the market price is. Now you'll see there's a 10-cent difference between the bid and the ask. Okay, so if you were to buy some coins today and then turn around and sell them immediately, you'd lose 10 cents. Okay, because that's the transaction charge of the actual transaction. Okay, and pretty simple stuff, folks. You got to know your transaction password. You can place an order if you want to buy coins, if you want to sell coins. This is the operation that's going to be here, and I anticipate that in the near future, we will be able to buy and sell other currencies as well on the same exchange. And then one day, You'll be able to move in and out of currencies from Bitcoin to OneCoin to Litecoin to Ethereum. I suppose that one day this will be a multi-currency exchange, but as of today, this is where you will trade your digital currency, and the buy and sell price will be registered on this website live. Anytime you want to go look at what the price is, you have the ability to look at it right here. There's a Q&A. Some of the stuff may not be completely updated because they just launched this today, but pretty exciting, folks. We saw this website sit dormant for about a year because they had the trading platform built into our back office, but it's exciting now to see that we have a public exchange, a wallet that is separate of our business website, that we can actually move our currency over and have independent access to our currency on a separate trading platform. So really, really excited. For those that may not fully grasp what that means, it means that we can move our currency out of our business and we can put it onto an independent site where we can actually hold it in our own wallet, which is really, really cool. So that's it really on the program tonight, folks. I tell everybody, get back with the person who invited you to the presentation. Definitely watch more videos, okay? Watch more videos. The reason we are all here is because we chose to get educated. The reason that we are all here is because we had an open mind to the future of currency. And I got to tell you, if it's good enough for Richard Branson, the billionaire, if it's good enough for Mark Andreessen, the guy who invented the internet browser, by the way, he is the largest investor in digital currency in the world. If it's good enough for Tim Draper from the Draper Funds, if it's good enough for Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal, if it's good enough for Elon Musk, this business should be good enough for you. Digital currency should be something, if you understand that those billionaires are involved in this business, not in OneCoin, but in the digital currency space, this should be something that you ought to be paying attention to. And hopefully you're not too busy to really learn about it, because the one thing I will tell you is the learning curve on it for the average person is probably going to be a couple weeks. For some people, it might take a month. If you're a little bit slower, it might take 2 months. I don't know. But in reality, this is not a difficult business to learn. We have people from all backgrounds, medical backgrounds, students, salespeople. You know, we've got the whole gamut of people that are involved. Doctors, construction workers, you know, people have been in the military all their life. You know, we've got house moms, you know, housewives that are in it. We've got house dads that are in it. Me, I'm a stay-at-home dad. It's just great. I love having you all on board. Thank you, Lori, for your kind messages and everybody that's been on board tonight. There are some links if you want to download the chat. There's a little more button next to the chat. If you click on the chat icon at the bottom of the screen and go over to chat, you can click on more and you can download the chat. And you got about 60 seconds to do that because I'll be shutting down the presentation. But before I do that, I'm going to let you all say goodnight by unmuting you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Get back with the person who invited you. Get into the videos. Take the time this weekend to learn about it. Stay plugged. Oh, and by the way, don't you dare miss Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We have a special guest that's coming on board that's going to do a training for us on Saturday at 1 p.m. Yes, it will be recorded, but I'm only going to give that out to select people. You got to be here, okay? Great having everybody online. Have a good night.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom.
Aaron from Oklahoma City, thank you.
Thank you.